Well, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bobbie and this is Bobbie Reads Tarot. And today, you guys, I want to look at a prophecy. You guys know I'm here for the prophecies right now. When we're looking at these predictions or these prophecies, we have to remember that these are a lot of times prophecies or predictions are made and they don't come true. Timing is everything and things can change, okay? So I just want to preface this video by saying that first and foremost. So the prophecy we're going to talk about today involves a manga artist from Japan and a catastrophe that is supposed to occur on July 5th of this year, like in 11 days. So let me give you a little bit of the background of this artist and the different predictions that they've gotten correct, and then we'll get into what the prediction is that they have coming up for July 5th. So Ryo Tatsuki is a manga artist who created a book in 1999, and it didn't get much attention at all. It kind of just like sat on the shelves and no one paid much attention to it. No one paid much attention to it until the prophecies inside of this book started coming true. So Ryo Tatsuki was born in 1954 in Kanagawa, Japan, and was, like I said, a manga artist. Didn't have a lot of, wasn't like a super popular manga artist. And this particular book that she created, she titled it The Future I Saw. And what the book really was more of like a dream diary. So ever since she was a very little girl, Ryo would have these very clear dreams, and they would be prophetic dreams. There would be a man with silver hair who would tell her things, and then those things would happen. So what Ryo did was she decided to write down these dreams that she had, and there were a lot of really concerning images. The book itself was just pencil sketches, very rough sketches with notes in the margin. Well, what started happening was these predictions started to come to fruition, and people were trying to figure out, who is this Ryo Tatsuki? On the name of the manga, it only had Tatsuki. No one, even the publisher, didn't have contact information for this person anymore, because this book had been published in 1999, and the very big event that I'm going to tell you about, the first one, that was in 2011. So a lot of time had passed. Well, eventually they did find her, and she released an updated version of her book that had even more notes, was even more detailed, and this was published October 1st, 2021. Now let's talk about some of the predictions that Tatsuki got correct. She had a vision, I believe it was in November 24th, 1976. She dreamt about the sudden death of Freddie Mercury, which he died November 29th, 1986. Now, one thing really interesting with Tatsuki's predictions is they usually occur either, I think it's like 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years after the prediction. So it happens on these very weird anniversaries, okay? So that was her first big prediction that came true. She also did a sketch of a blonde woman holding a child, and then next to that, I believe there was like this tangled metal wreckage, and then the word Dana, D-A-N-A. And this was a prediction of the death of Princess Diana. That's what that was. So she's had some very, very big predictions that hit. But the biggest one, the one that like got people saying, okay, what is going on here? And the reason that she republished her book in October of 2021 is a prediction that came true March 11th, 2011. Now, for those of you who don't remember, on March 11th, 2011, that was when there was the very big Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. That was the tsunami that beat up against Japan, hit the Fukushima nuclear facility, caused a meltdown. It was terrible. Lots and lots of people died. I believe there was just shy of 20,000 deaths. It was tragic and it was horrible. But what was really eerie is that Tatsuki predicted it down to the day. She said that this was going to happen on March 11th, 2011, and it did.
Someone remembered that long-forgotten comic book, and what they found would leave the public stunned. Because 12 years earlier, in one of the dreams recorded in pencil, the artist had depicted a scene that seemed to mirror, almost exactly, the events of March 11th. Seawater flooding the streets, tsunami waves crashing inland, and strange numbers like 311 appearing on the book's cover, as if to warn of something no one had yet understood at the time it was released. The coincidence was too great, too detailed to ignore. Thousands of people began to track down the comic. They turned every page, examined every sketch, every note in the margins, as if trying to follow a code sent from the future. And soon, they uncovered something even harder to believe. Within that book were a total of 15 prophetic dreams, and according to the reader's own tally, 12 and a half of them had already come true.
This brings us to the current day prophecy that Ryo Tatsuki has warned us about. And what she saw in her dream was on July 5th, 2025, there would be a massive event that would happen in the Pacific Ocean between Japan and the Philippines. Now, she couldn't tell exactly what it was, but she described it as water bubbling up to the surface, like it's boiling, like sloppy soup, I think is how she described it. And just bubbling, and underneath there's some kind of explosion or underwater volcano that would then cause this massive spout of water to shoot up out of the epicenter of whatever it was that was happening. And she's hinted around that it could be nuclear, like an underwater nuclear explosion, or it could just be an earthquake, because there are tectonic plates that run right there. So it really could be, or an underwater volcano, because it's very ripe. That area is very ripe for that kind of activity. She prophesies that there would be waves 100 feet tall. Now, to put that into perspective, for the March 11th earthquake and tsunami, that tsunami, the waves were 33 feet tall. So imagine 100 feet tall. She said that the destruction would be so massive that it would actually like push the land, and Japan and Thailand and the Philippines, I believe, and maybe even China, would all appear to be one. They'd no longer be islands. They would all be like one connected landmass because of the movement of the earth beneath the surface. This is like catastrophic. If this were to happen now, and again, when we look at these prophecies and predictions, we're just looking at them. We're not going to expect that they are 100% going to happen, but it's just good to be aware of what's going on. Many times, nothing happens. So I'm not saying that July 5th, we are going to see this happen. I'm just saying, let's look at this. Let's look and let's learn about it, and then let's see, what happens. Okay. So this would be a catastrophic event. And the reason that she's wanting to warn people is if her idea is like, if she can save one person, then she's done her job. Now, recently, the travel to Japan has fallen way back. People are not coming there. People are starting to get nervous. People are leaving the area. So this is a prophecy that people are taking very serious. The descriptions and the imagery that she uses when describing this event is just, it is amazing. There is a video that I watched to learn about this, and I'm going to link it for you guys in the description box down below. Go check it out. It's the full story. It's about 30 minutes, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it because it gives like all of the details. So if you want to learn more and dig into the stuff that I didn't tell you, I'll link that video in the description box so that you can check that out for yourselves.
In that dream, she stood at an immense height, so high that she could see the entire expanse of the sea south of Japan spread out beneath her like a living three-dimensional map. At first, the ocean was unnervingly calm, but within moments, massive pockets of air began to rise from the ocean floor, bubbling up like enormous cauldrons churning beneath the Earth's crust. It was the unmistakable sign of an underwater volcano on the verge of erupting. But what she could never forget, what had seared itself into her memory, was the emergence of two enormous dragons. They twisted beneath the water's surface, gradually forming into shape from the edges of the scene. They moved silently, coiling around the center of the rising bubbles, as if guarding something hidden beneath. And then, in an instant, a massive column of water burst from the sea, tearing through the sky and unleashing a tsunami beyond anything the human mind could imagine. Tatsuki stood frozen, unable to move, as the waves, 3 times taller than those of the 2011 disaster, came crashing toward the shore, dragging with them clouds of dust, vehicles, buildings, and millions of people. She could not remember how she breathed during that dream. All she knew was that after the wave, a new land began to rise. It surfaced slowly from the water like an ancient being waking from a slumber that had lasted for thousands of years. Wet soil churned upward, stone heaving into jagged forms, rugged, raw, and untouched. And in that moment, Tatsuki knew with certainty that this new land would connect Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and the Philippines into one continuous landmass.
So I thought what we would do is a little bit of a tarot reading just to see what the cards have to say. What's the energy going to be for July 5th? And I don't know. Will the cards see something that, will tell us that it's coming? Or will the cards say, no, everything's going to be fine? I don't know. Let's check it out. Okay, so let's take a look and see the energy for Japan and that general region where Tatsuki had mentioned that this event would occur on July 5th. Let's just look at the general energy of that location for July 5th, 2025. Now, one thing I will tell you guys, I follow Stefan Burns. He is, what is he? He's not an astrophysicist, is he? No, he's a geophysicist. I believe he's a geophysicist and an astrologer. He is one of the smartest people I've ever seen on YouTube. He's so smart. But he did this amazing live stream where he was talking about these oarfish, or like the doomsday prophet fish, washing up on shore. There's been like 4 of them, and they usually only pop up when there's going to be like a tsunami or an earthquake or something catastrophic in the water. There's some years where we only see like 1 wash up on shore. Well, there's been like 4. And then also there's been whales washing up on shore up in the Pacific Northwest, up in the Washington area. So the ocean is doing a lot of weird things. And Stefan Burns has this amazing live where he talks about that. He talks about this prophecy. He talks about what's going on astrologically in the sky. And then he talks about what's going on in terms of the earth and how the earth reacts. So I will also link that video in the description box down below because it is so good. Okay, here we go. So the first thing we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is an offer. This is an opportunity. The challenge is the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is endings and suffering. So I do feel almost as if it's an offer of, hey, I'm offering you this opportunity to not be in the area. I'm offering you this opportunity to be prepared. I'm offering you this so that you know what's coming, because the challenge of what's coming is this Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords energy is, it is endings and suffering. The energy that it's coming from, that will be coming from going into July 5th, is the Wheel of Fortune reversed. The Wheel of Fortune reversed is a card that talks about your luck changing. Your luck has run out. And a lot of people have been predicting earthquakes in Japan. I've predicted it. It's on my annual predictions. If you go to my 2025 predictions and other videos, I've talked about it a lot. But it's like you can only like hold on for so long, I guess, before your luck runs out. And that's kind of the feeling I'm getting, is like people have been warned. There's some interesting stuff with the karma of Japan, and I'm not sure what it is, but there's something going on with the karma of the land. Because if you look at 84 years ago during World War II, they were bombed. They've had the Fukushima nuclear meltdown because of that, the tsunami in 2011. Japan has not had the best luck there. The energy that they're going into is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is about a contract. This can also be gossip, people talking. So I almost feel like this is going to be like people are going to be talking about what happened and what's coming, and they're going to be saying like gossip, like, oh, we talked about this, oh, we meant, I feel like it's going to be that energy. The fate or the destiny for this time in this area is justice reversed. This is things being out of balance. This is things being out of balance, things needing to be brought into balance, and things being unjust or unfair. You know, let's talk about the implication of the loss of human life, okay? Because I get a lot of people that will ask about that in my videos. And this is the thing, okay? Whenever anyone loses their life, it is so tragic, and it's never okay. And my heart, you know, obviously goes out to anyone who loses their life, their families, you know, things like that. But with that being said, or I shouldn't say but, I should say and with that being said, we also have to remember that we sign contracts before we come here for certain specific experiences that we're going to have while we're here on Earth. So we do not know the contracts that other people have signed. And if there is a large loss of life, as tragic as that is, and how it can seem to us like it's completely senseless, just remember that there are things at work here that we do not see and we are not privy to, okay? Now, what we don't see coming is the Hermit. The Hermit is a card of wisdom. It's a card of mentorship, but it's also a card of solitude. There is an opportunity here for, after this is done, a rebuilding that's done from a very wise place. I feel like this is just one more thing that's kind of added to what we're seeing in the world right now, the complete breakdown. We're going to see, I feel, more and more of these events as well. I do feel like we're going to be seeing them in California, as well as other places. So there's going to be a lot of destruction on the earth, as well as the wars. And at some point, we're going to have to build this earth back up, right? And that's where it gets into the, you know, the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension, people shifting, different timelines, and what we experience here. But I say all of that to say that when Japan builds back, they're going to do it from this place of having solid wisdom, using the knowledge from the past to move forward in a much better way. Page of Pentacles reversed is the energy, and this is unwelcome news regarding material goods, finances. This could be devastation that costs a lot of money. We have the environment is the Strength card reversed. The Strength card reversed is a card of using massive brute force instead of using a more gentler, kinder, graceful strength. I just feel like this is the force of the earth, the force of Mother Nature, the force of Gaia. There's just this massive force. We have the Lovers card reversed. This is going to be the fear is people separating, people losing their lives, people being torn apart. And the final outcome is the Sun reversed. This is chaos and confusion. This is darkness. And this is a loss of hope for a little bit. So there very, very well could be something that does happen. I want to look at the energy of Ryo Tatsuki and just get a feel for her energy and see, you know, is this someone that we should put some stock into what they say, or is this something that we should just, you know, take with a grain of salt and move on? We have the King of Pentacles reversed. The King of Pentacles reversed is this is a card of being greedy. It can also be a card of lethargy. Let's see what else we have here. We have the Page of Swords reversed, and we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. Page of Swords reversed is a card that talks about manipulation, but this can also be being self-conscious. And we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. The Four of Pentacles reversed is trying to hold on to something. All of these cards are very like materialistic cards. They're cards of someone who is seeking funds, seeking money. So even though some of her prophecies have come true, there is some stuff here that does make me wonder, is this a cash grab? Maybe this is something that she did, or, you know, maybe there's some kind of, the wires got crossed or something, you know, but I I'm getting very weird vibes here from this. I really, really am. I feel like I would be cautious to believe this, I guess. Okay. Now let's see the general energy for the world on July 5th. Let's look at that. General energy for the world on July 5th. General energy, July 5th. What can we expect? Oh, if you guys are ever curious about my bracelets, I'm not going to give you the whole commercial right now, but I'll put the link in the description box down below if you want to check those out. Okay. Knight of Swords reversed. We keep getting the Page of Swords reversed. This is a stressful situation that's blown out of proportion, and this is people being on the warpath. Okay? So, July 5th, now keep in mind this is out a little ways, but July 5th, there's going to be some battle stuff going on. We've got the King of Pentacles. These are the kings. These are Trump, this is Putin, this is Netanyahu. I feel like this is definitely the energy of like the guys in charge with money, the guys that shouldn't be in charge, but the leaders that have a lot of money. So I'm not feeling like this is, like Macron or anything like that, but I feel like this is Trump, Netanyahu. This is just, yeah. The other thing too is that we have to watch out because South Korea could be impacted if there is a tsunami, and what's attached to South Korea, North Korea. And it scares me to have Kim Jong-un involved. A lot of news coming in fast. A lot of messages coming in fast. A lot of news. I'm wondering if we're going to get a lot of updates. This could be about things going on, conflicts in the world. This is just a lot of news coming in right about that time. The Two of Wands is a card of making plans, accomplishment, being on the move. So there's big plans that are going to be made on that day, and there could be a big accomplishment that happens that day as well. The destiny of July 5th is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is an authoritarian. This is a very, very authoritarian, powerful, sometimes kind of a tyrant energy. And what we don't see coming is the Four of Cups reversed. The Four of Cups reversed is a card of dissatisfaction and boredom. I'm almost wondering if we're going to see more in terms of conflict and battle on the 5th than anything else. Because that's the energy that's really coming through, is this dueling kings, making plans, trying to expand the kingdom, being bored and dissatisfied with what they have, wanting more. The energy is going to be the Page of Cups reversed. This is people being very irresponsible, and people being very immature. So obviously there's no adults at the wheel. We know that. The environment is going to be the Page of Pentacles. Lots of page energy. Knights, kings, a lot of people involved. So there's a lot of people that are going to be making decisions that are going to impact all of us, and they're going to impact each other. It's going to be like a domino effect. So one person's going to do one thing, and then that's going to lead to someone else making a different, they're going to do something, and then that's going to trigger someone else to do something. So I think there's going to be some very big moves, and there might be a lot of moves from a lot of different people. So we could see like the US do something, and maybe Iran and Israel, but then you could see like counter moves by NATO members. Okay, something like that. The hopes or the fears, the High Priestess reversed. This is the hope is that you would intuitively know what's going on, have a connection. But the fear is being lied to, deceit, not knowing, not being connected to your higher self. The final outcome for this day is the Eight of Cups reversed. The Eight of Cups reversed is making errors in judgment and potentially drifting aimlessly. So I don't think it's going to be the best day in terms of conflict, but we will just have to wait and see what happens in terms of a geological or earth event.
I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I flip cards. You have no idea how much I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you're still here with me, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It's a great way to help out my channel. And if you are not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. It's absolutely free, and it's a fantastic way to support my channel. And if you would like to take your support of my channel one step further, you can join and become a member. It's 99 cents a month, and my members get access to member exclusive content, member only lives, and early access to some videos. So if you want to learn more about that and check that out, the information for that is in the description box down below. Once again, I want to thank you all so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.